infrastructure has been a little bit messed up since the hurricane. We never really got our feet back off the ground, but we're slowly returning to normalcy at this point.
Okay, Nick, so please, if you could just say your name and the program you're interested in. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Nicholas Esposito, and I'm applying for an MMus in Music Composition.
Okay. Now, tell us about yourself. What are you doing apart from obviously auditioning? What's happening?
I have two main jobs that I do. I'm an audio engineer, where for the past 8 years I've been trained in front of house engineering, monitor engineering. I've been trained in lights, so I do a lot of concert production. And then I also compose on commission for various people. I've written chamber pieces, choir pieces. I actually just had one of my Kyries performed by the Hofstra University Choir. I'm a full-time student where I'm currently studying at Hofstra University, working towards a Bachelor of Science in Music Theory and Composition.
Got it. How's that going?
Oh, very well.
Good.
I am almost done writing my honors thesis, which is a full harmonic and formal analysis of the first movement of Dvorak's Ninth Symphony. So I've been really blessed to work with a great number of great teachers. It's been a good trip so far.
And what kind of things what sort of commissions are you taking in terms of composition?
Right now, I am finalizing a sonata for violin and piano, as well as a suite of Baroque-style counterpoint pieces for brass ensemble. I was commissioned to write this week called the Baroque Brass Suite for a local group. It's a brass quintet, and I'm about 75% of the way done with an unaccompanied euphonium suite, unaccompanied euphonium prelude.
Okay. What contemporary composers do you like?
I love Philip Glass, which is why I got really lucky that the Brooklyn Academy of Music just re-put on Einstein on the Beach. So I waited online for about 8 hours to get tickets to that, and it was the best 8-hour wait of my life. It was.
And what is it about Philip Glass that you like?
It's his particular style of minimalism. It's the way that he manipulates musical time and space, where he'll have the same repeating pattern over and over, then he'll drop 1/8 note and do that a couple times. He'll drop another 1/8 note, bring one back someplace else. It's the metamorphosis that he creates in these grand scale pieces with 4 notes, 5 notes. When he has choirs singing, he has them on nothing but numbers. They're counting out the rhythms that they're doing, or they're singing it out on solfege. It's the way that he was able to make these grandiose pieces with nothing.
What is it then you're looking for in terms of doing a master's or an MFA program? What is it you feel you need now?
I'm still looking to hone my craft. I know that there is so much music out there, and the only way that you can learn to write it is to study with the greats, study with people that have been doing this, that can help guide you with techniques that you never knew before. It was only recently that I had a lengthy discussion about PLR chains and how they can be used combined with chromatic mediants, and if you take both of those and put them together with bitonality, the amount of sonic landscape that you open up is incredible. And if I learned that in just my undergrad, I can only imagine how I can then expand in a master's degree, a doctorate, wherever I can go from here.
And more particularly, you've had a chance to sort of do some research on the conservatoire. And what is it about the conservatoire, or more particularly the program, that is particularly interesting for you?
It's, from what I've been able to find through my research, a lot of it has to do with the location and the opportunities that are then given to the students. The fact that where you are, you have a number of art festivals in Glasgow. You have the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, which is just a short train ride away. As a composer, that I do a lot of orchestral music, but I also do a lot of film scoring. I know that with all the filmmakers that are out there, I can try and network. I know that there's a large film program at the conservatory that I can network with. I've also started doing a lot with video game composition for interactive media. And I know that I think it's BioWare just opened up a new satellite post in Scotland, which would give me a chance to try and network with one of the biggest game producers in the world right now.
That would pay the rent.
It certainly would.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, that's the exciting thing about the Conservatoire. There's more and more collaborations going on between the programs, so it does allow for these opportunities. You know, for people who want to go, like you say, you could go to the digital film and television program and see what's going on there. You know, and indeed, in the past, some composition students have worked with me on Shakespeare productions because they just wanted to write for theatre. You know, so there's all these kind of possibilities now. So I think I can understand where you're coming from there. What about, are you applying to other UK institutions, or are we the only ones?
There is one more institution in the United Kingdom I'm applying to, and that is the Royal College of Music in London. I have their interview on the 18th, so that'll be exciting.
And have you been to the UK before?
Yes, I have. Actually, my current girlfriend is going to school at the Imperial College studying paleobiology. So I only got back from London on the 24th. So unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to get over to Scotland. My time was a little bit constricted, but I'm hoping that the next time I go over there, I can visit.
Great. Yeah. I haven't got any more questions. Have you, David?
I think that's covered it,
No.
actually.
Is there anything you'd like to ask us about the Conservatoire?
I would like to ask about, at the conservatory itself, what sort of, I'm not sure if you know this, ensembles would I have access to? Just recently, I had the Macedonian Radio Symphonic Orchestra perform 5 of my pieces. The Radio Symphonic Choir is actually recording the same Kyrie that Hofstra commissioned in a couple of weeks. So I'm always trying to find out which ensembles I can write for, because that's why I'm going here. I'm going to learn, I'm going to write.
I think it'd be a question for the head of the programme, it should be Gordon. I mean, I think the only thing that maybe we could comment on is that the institution has so many performances week to week, a symphony orchestra that rehearses and performs 3 times a year, and the volume of output is extremely high for a producing house even, never mind a student body. But I think it'd be something that you chat to Gordon about the specific ensembles. But in terms of institutions, I mean, the volume of art that goes on in the building, whether it's plays, musical theatre, opera, is extremely high. The facilities are extremely strong, so the options and opportunity for collaboration within the programme are extremely high. So it'd be something specific you could chat to Gordon about, but I mean, the opportunities are all there.
That actually brings up another point that I'd like to ask. With interdepartmental collaborations, I know you mentioned that other composers have worked on composing, for Shakespearean plays. Is there a chance for composition students to work with the actors, to work with the dance department would be another big one that I'd like to have a chance to work with?
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's been a really strong push in the last 5 years for more collaboration. We've currently just rewritten the whole programmes to allow choice modules, so there's more opportunity for collaboration, and it's something that the Conservatoire are really, really forward on. Almost trying to lead the artistic, belief that collaboration is the way forward. So grounding your skills and then using your skills to facilitate and support another. And true collaboration as well. It's not always about me supporting you in an environment or a moment. It's about actually starting from the same place, so that the thoughts and the development of an idea emerges together, as opposed to just bringing in an orchestra to play for something. So the opportunity for true collaboration is really, really strong. So it's something that's inbuilt in the programme.
That's really good news, because I agree with all of that. The only way that we can move art forward is if we have a chance to work with all these different types, bringing in everyone's different ideas. In terms of writing for Shakespeare, simply the way that Shakespeare wrote lends itself very interestingly to writing, I've written art songs on the various monologues I tried to write. It was an art song to the To Be or Not to Be monologue, because everyone knows that I figured this might be an interesting chance. And it's so interesting working with his phrasing, his structures. So that's really good news that there's a chance to work with these other departments.
Because I think putting different disciplines together is a way of creating really innovative, groundbreaking work. Actually, that's when it happens. Is when these different things kind of bump into each other. You know.
Are there opportunities for new works to be produced like that? For example, if I was able to gather a couple of musical theater students, a librettist, and I was able to, if we were to together write a musical, would there be a chance to perform it on campus, to produce it using their facilities?
The options, it's something that we probably take for granted, but the options are endless. I work in musical theatre and we have 2 new musical development strands, so we try to do 4 new musical developments a year that are then taken through to the fringe, so any collaborative options are available. Some of those are structured within programmes, some of them may be external, but the opportunity for collaboration with ballet, screen, production, musical theatre are endless.
And in fact, next week, we call it a bridge week, which is a break week for most of the students, but equally students can apply for funding to use that week to create work with each other. And there's been lots of exciting kind of proposals for that week already. So yes, is the answer. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Plenty of opportunities.
I think I have one last question. Another one of the reasons why I want to get a master's degree, get a doctorate, is because at some point I would also like to start teaching at a university, be able to pass knowledge on to the next generation. Are there any teaching assistantships, any chance to essentially shadow a professor and learn how to teach in that regard to the undergraduate students?
I'm not sure, and I think, as David was saying, I think that's a question to talk much more about with the program leader, actually.
Okay.
I wouldn't like to say yes or no, actually. Yeah. I just don't know that.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming. Yeah, very nice to meet you.
I appreciate your time. It was a pleasure.
Okay, good luck with all the other auditions.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay, bye for now. Bye-bye.
Thank you.